dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects. Triggering content, including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues. Explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice, and if you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Gosh, I screwed up on that disclaimer. I lost my place. I thought, oh, well, today we start into kind of getting ready for Mercury retrograde, but I'm going to blame it on that. But I just lost my place because the retrograde isn't until like April, but I'm going to just say it was retrograde. Hello, Miss Lee. Thank you so much. Welcome to the R.I.F.T Nation. R.I.F.T Nation Network. I'm going to start all over again, I think. Welcome to Mysteries Beyond the Scenes. My name is Joni Skinner, your hostess for the evening. And please, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Please share, hit the like button, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I'm just going to start all over again because I've screwed up everything. And it's only 7:04. Oh, Lee says it's the cold weather. I know. Yesterday, we were in shorts. Today, it was snowing. What? Welcome to Kentucky. So that happens here. So, but, we only have one or two cold days, and then it bounces back up to 60 and 70. So I'll be happy. But it was just snowing. Subscribed, liked, and shared. Thank you, Miss Linda. How is everybody? Did you have a good St. Patrick's Day? I hope so. St. Patrick's Day in my family was like Christmas with an Irish grandmother. So it was always the old superstitions of, no tools in the house. You couldn't carry a tool through the house. You couldn't, if you heard the rocks on the roof 3 times, somebody was going to pass away. If a bird got in the house, it was bad luck. I mean, I grew up with all those wonderful superstitions. If somebody in their village had a baby, they wore black. When somebody died, they would prop them up in the corner. They didn't have funeral homes. They were in people's houses. They would prop them up in the corner of the house and toast to them. So I guess that would be what we call a wake nowadays. So I know all those superstitions. So I love all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, you guys, the true crime community, it just seems like every week it is one thing after another with case. I don't know what it is. Case after case after case. And the cases just seem to be lingering. And then more things are coming out of the cases. And it's just where I think I'll get to one, you have to stop and get to another one. It's nonstop news coming out. So, I want to give props to the true crimers that are out there, boots on the ground, that are what I think a lot of it is the true crimers are out there, and whether they're streaming live on TikTok or on YouTube, they are providing us up to the minute details of what's happening in a lot of these cases. And I think that's why we're getting the news. I mean, it's instant now. The minute something is found or, this is going on, we are given instant access. And a lot of that, if you all know, Pluto, which moves every 20 years or so, just moved into Aquarius. What does Aquarius rule? The internet. The future. This is going to be our future of news at our hands. So, I like what the true crimers are doing. It's wonderful. We get up-to-date information. They're out there. They're providing us all this true crime info. I love it. And I love the kids that are doing it. They're involved in the community. I love it. So welcome. Like I said, we are streaming live on the R.I.F.T Nation Network. I think I can talk now. I hope everybody had a great St. Patrick's Day. Let's get started, because right after this show, join me live with Keith on the Otter's Den. We've got a packed show there too. We've got Kate Middleton's chart, Biden's chart. We've got the 2 upcoming eclipse charts and how they're going to impact the United States now. We're in eclipse season now. So stay tuned at 8 for the Otter's Den right here on R.I.F.T Nation Network. So let's get started, guys, because we've got a big show tonight. I wanted to show you all. Let's do the update. Got a lot of updates. I'm going to make this bigger so I can see it too. Let's make this bigger. Okay, so here we go with the Delphi case. As many of you know of the Delphi case, we've covered that for years. And that trial is supposed to start in May. Some more information has come out again with the Delphi case. Let's try to get like that. Okay. With the Delphi case, missing evidence, missing discovery. So, we talked about this with the Odinism and, what Odinism is. If you missed that episode, go back on YouTube and find that episode. It was very interesting. We went over exactly what Odinism is. And so that has come out. More information. As you know, the attorneys were reinstated after the judge removed them. So that trial is slated to start in May. However, there seems to be some geo-tracking reports that are missing of the cell phones that were within a 60-yard radius of when the actual homicides were taking place. 60 yards. 60 yards is not that far away. So the defense doesn't have those records. So there's a lot going on the Delphi case. I'll keep you updated on that one. We are going to go over Riley Strain, who is missing in Nashville. Again, about a month ago, I did an episode regarding the Austin Lady Bird cases where young men are missing. If you all remember that case, the cases, plural, where many young men are mysteriously missing. That started, and Lee had, said, let's do the smiley face cases. That was in PA. Then we did the Austin cases and Chicago cases. Now we've got a Nashville case. Is that part of what we talked about back then? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. We've also got another young man missing in southeastern Indiana. So that's another one that went missing over the weekend. He was a wildlife photographer. They found his kayak, all of his equipment, his, I believe his car keys. If I'm not mistaken, he's missing. He was a wildlife photographer, a young man missing. That's going on. I haven't heard today if he was found or not, but they were still searching over the weekend. So next week, we're going to try to do Missing Sebastian. We have also another update with baby Elijah. We looked at that case. They just found his little blanket 3 miles from the apartment where he was getting his disciplinary actions, and 3-year-old being disciplined. So they just found his blanket. That is going on. Lots of stuff going on. Let's see what else. Okay, so here's a Maddie Soto update. If you recall Madeline Soto, we looked at her last week. Again, if you missed any of these episodes, please go back to get a refresh on them on YouTube. As you recall, the boyfriend / stepfather / partner was arrested. They have now added 60 additional counts added to his arrest. 40 of those counts were videos or pictures. So, was that included with the Santa arrest where a ring was exposed in the area where Madison's body was found? Now, what I did, if you recall last week, I was just stumped because the mapping that I did not go to where they found Madeline. I was just stumped by that. I'm like, there's something wrong with this time. Well, I accidentally made a mistake. And mistakes, look, check this out. I'm going to try to get this bigger if I can. Well, I don't know if I can get it bigger. Let's try this. Try to get this chart a little bit bigger for you guys to see. I don't think I can. This might be the big one. Okay, there we go. That's probably the bigger one. So what happened is I made a mistake on her chart. And I had put down, like you said, we do the calculations via degrees of the ascendant, the descendant. It's all done by math. I accidentally put a Leo degree, which goes to 100 some degrees, and I made a mistake on her charting. And I found the time when something occurred with her, all by mistake. And if you can see on this chart, I went back and I finally realized it was at 5 a.m. in the morning. It was and she was found exactly 16 degrees from the condo. Look at that. The mileage at the IC is 16. So I'm like, I found this by mistake. The moon and Neptune were opposing. So this was a blow up of some kind over these videos. Neptune is videos, or it could be drugs. And Pluto is right on her ascendant, which means, bam, it was right in front of her. So this is what happened. So I'm going to show you the mapping and you're going to flip. I flipped out. I couldn't believe it. It was a complete error on my part in mapping. And when I mapped it, look at that. It went right to where she was found. And that is at the degree. That is at 16 miles. So we're going to watch this because I accidentally, like I said, I screwed up on the mapping and it was 5 a.m. So I went back, and at a police presser, the police did say sometime in the early morning hours, the monster did something. So if you recall, we're trying to figure out, was it 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Well, it was 5 a.m. Something happened. So we need to watch that. If you can see, that yellow dot was where the ring was busted. So this is 16 miles away from the condo. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. So let's keep an eye on Madison, because by accident, and I don't know if it was a coincidence. But my mistake found her. So I thought, man, I need to make mistakes more often. So write to her. Crazy. Crazy. So let's get started. Have you guys been informed of... Hi, Kathy. Hi, both Kathys. How is everybody? How are you guys? We'll go through the chat when I go through a little bit of Riley's case. Have you all been following Riley's case? Riley Strain, who went missing down in Nashville. I know, Lee, you have, because you pick up so much on these young men that are disappearing. So, but let's get started into Riley's case. It's some things and things are unfolding with Riley as we go on. Today, more things were found. Yesterday, things were found. Now, Riley Strain is a student. Everything matches Lee, the MO of all of the Austin kids that are disappearing. 22 years old. He was at a fraternity conference from his college in Missouri with his fraternity brothers. 22 years old. He was last seen on March 8th at approximately 10 p.m. in downtown Nashville. He was last seen it was a brown and tan shirt, or black and tan, the one that he's wearing in the photo. Blue jeans. It says black and white button-up shirt, but I think it's actually tan, I think. Now, what's interesting with Riley is he's 6'6", but he's 165 pounds, so he's tall and thin. Now, what's interesting with Riley is Riley was very close to his mother. He was constantly FaceTiming mom, constantly texting mom, look at this, we're having fun here, we're doing this. This was a good kid. But all of the kids are good kids that have been disappearing. They're good kids. So he's having a great time. His mother said he last FaceTimed her somewhere between 7:45 and 8:15, and he was fine. He was fine. He was out FaceTiming mom. I'm fine, mom, having fun. There he is, such a handsome boy. That looks tan to me. It does, because the gentleman next to him is wearing white. Riley's shirt is definitely black and tan, or a beige-ish color, because the boy next to him is white. It's a tall, handsome young man. So there's Riley. Now, like I said, he was at his weekend conference from the University of Missouri, kept in constant contact with his mom. So they end up at a bar called Luke 23 Bar. I think it's owned by a country music star, Luke Bryant. I don't know country music, but apparently he's a singer. He was asked to leave the bar. Oh God, Siri's talking to me. She's like, I didn't get that. Siri just popped on my phone. So Riley was asked to leave the Luke 23 Bar. He told his friend he was going back to the hotel. He was not permitted to leave. His friend stated, at first there were rumors, I wasn't allowed to leave. I had to go, finish up the tab, blah, blah, blah. But we don't know what the rumors actually are. All we know is that Riley left by himself. Now, on Sunday, Riley's credit card was found on the river by true crimers who were searching on the riverbank. Okay, this is Riley's route. I wish you could see it better. Okay, so all of the webcams that were down in that area got Riley on film. A lot of videos of Riley. Here is one, and you can watch the videos. They're all over social media. Riley seems very intoxicated or out of it as he's walking. He's walking with his head down. He's turning around. He looks like he's been drinking too much, and that was what everybody was assuming. He's always just got drunk, and but the bar has now come out with a statement stating he only had one drink there and 2 ice waters. Okay. That's what, yeah, it did. Now, Linda, and this just came out as well. Linda, I thought I just saw where it came out. He had a conversation with the police. Body cam footage was just released down by the bridge where the ping stopped. He disappeared. Right before that area, he had a conversation with a policeman and appears very normal. Very normal. That just deepens the mystery even more. At one point on the video, oh crap, at one point there's a video where Riley is approached by people either trying to help him or do something, and he gets away, goes behind a building, and then takes off running. What was that? What was that? What happened at that point where he got spooked and ran? We don't, we have covered all of these cases in Austin. We just didn't have a lot of the footage. We've covered cases like this, unfortunately. Now, this is the area where Riley was walking, on this area down by the river. His last ping was down by this bridge, underneath of the bridge. There's no camera down there. You see him walking, then there's no footage of him coming out from underneath of this bridge. So 2 things have happened here. A car picked him up under that bridge, or he fell down, had an accident, and fell down into the river. That's the only plausible things that could have happened to him. Because after the last ping down by the bridge, there's no more pings and there's no more Riley. His credit card was found. Let's see if I have a picture. I don't have a picture of that. It's on my phone. His credit card was found. I can show you because I just had it on my phone. I hope you all can see it. I'll try to show it to you a little bit. His credit card was found yesterday in this type of an area, and I hope you can see that. Can you see that? It is straight down. It's a straight down shot down to the river. This is the area where he last pinged. Okay, and you can actually, there are wonderful TikTokers that are down there live. You can watch this live. Okay, let's see. Here we go, Linda. Yes. Are they passing out the picture of those 2 people that approached him? That I do not know. That is on YouTube on the video camera footage. I would certainly hope that those people would come forward, possibly to the police, and say, hey, we tried to help him, or, just to clear up some answers. I sure questioned it. Michelle says some are saying that he may have been hurt when he fell and hit his head on a pole. Yes, he was holding his head on some of the videos. But when he talked to the policeman down by the bridge area, he seemed very coherent. And the police officer was on a break-in for cars. So, yeah. Linda, is there anything on the charts that show he might have some kind of injury on his head? Yes. Algol is, the head. And of course, with a chart, Uranus would be an accident. Uranus would be an accident. So let's take a look at the chart. And out of respect, because they're still looking, there's still hope, possibly that he did hit his head and he's somewhere he forgot where he's at, whatever. We don't know. We'll just kind of speculate on the chart a little bit. Tammy says, what his frat brothers said, they were drinking all night prior to the bar. I went out if somebody had put something in his drink, but when he hit the post, it really messed him up. Oh, if somebody had put something in his head. Right. When you hit your head on a post, I don't know how many of you all, I'm sure all of us have had concussions and hit our heads. Yeah, heck yes. I mean, I had yeah. Linda, some of those head injuries happen without warning as to when it is an issue. Look at Bob Saget. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And Michelle says, yes, I agree with Tammy. Absolutely, Tammy. And Tammy, as a PI, let me ask you this. He did not come out of the underside of the bridge. What are the only two conclusions? A car under the bridge? Was it a setup or an accident where you fall? And, I had a car accident once and I hit my head. And I didn't know I hit my head. A week later, I was standing at a deli counter ordering lunch meat. I forgot where I was. I ended up in the hospital. I ended up in the ER from a head injury. And my head just swelled up like a balloon. So head injuries are very, very serious. On top of, okay, Tammy, he was showing pain, so it must have been extremely painful considering all the alcohol. He shouldn't have felt that. Now, and here's the thing, though, Tammy, we don't know, well, unless he was drinking the night before, head injuries are no joke. No, they're very serious. And, how much did they have? The mom says at 8:15 he was fine on FaceTime. But, kids, we just don't know. Here's Linda says, alcohol intensifies pain. It doesn't dull it, although it dulls senses. Tequila does. I don't know. I mean, this is such speculation. I guess I would say accident, but my mind is going back to Austin and Lady Bird Lake. And it's going up to Chicago. And it's these young college-age men. He fits that profile. I just don't know. I'm praying not, because we don't need any more of those incidents. Now, let's take a look at the chart. The chart, if you all take a look at the chart, the fifth house, and I put a 5, if you can see, if there is a perp, big F, the perp is in yellow, which is represented by Venus, somebody in the neighborhood. He is represented by the green, which is Scorpio, which would be Pluto and Mars. That's Riley. I'm just going to tell you what the astrology says. Look at the fifth house. When we look at these charts, fifth house represents where we like to have fun. Parties, bars, baseball fields, golf course. It's your children. It's creativity. But in an event chart, It's a place. It's a place where we have fun. Bars. Look at all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets, and shit is in there. Asteroid. They're all in, and it's in the house of Pisces. What is Pisces? Pisces is water. So Uranus up at the top next to Algol. There you go, Tam. Or there you go, Linda. Algol is head. Uranus, Jupiter, it was excessive, meaning this was a big injury. Okay, I'm just reading what the chart is saying. So when I looked at the chart, you don't see, all you see is everything. If you guys have looked at enough event charts, you guys have looked at enough of them that show activity all over the place. This is all clumped into certain areas, if you notice that. I think definitely, to me, it was definitely an accident, especially with Uranus up there with Algol. Algol was hitting the head. It's woods, excessive, which is an excessive blow. I mean, he hit his head hard. This was a head injury from the bar. And Neptune is in there, which could be the alcohol. It could also be the filming. Uranus and Mars are together. Mars would be, the accident is bad. So let's look at the chart. Now, you guys have also looked at enough charts too. Okay, here's the mapping of the chart. Okay, now, if you can see, in the middle is where he last pinged. Again, a chart I have never seen, and you guys have seen enough maps too by now, where all the lines go to one spot. That's pretty well. We've got a couple lines going that way and down south, but the majority of the lines are all headed towards the river in that area. So we've got, let's see, 6. There we go. That's a little bit closer look. Now, what's interesting is that one line, 3 over, are the route that he was walking. Okay. We've got some lines in the water, some lines close to the bank. So, I mean, that can give you an idea. If there was foul play, they were going that way. If he was picked up under that bridge, they were headed, I don't know, is that north or south? Either, whatever way the line is headed, that way. And it's that route. So, but there were no cameras that showed him. So if that were the case, he was put in a car. So it's very interesting to see this mapping. Tammy says, I think an accident. He was probably trying to clean up the wound, passed out, fell in water. It could be. But I'll tell you, Tammy Lee, there's a dating app that plays a role too. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. The thing is, Tammy, I'll show you I guess is it trajectory that goes down to the water. It is extremely deep. The only place that's not fenced and where there's railing is under the bridge. It is extremely deep. There are camps down there, lots of garbage. And that area down by the river where his phone last pinged is where the true crimers, the citizens, the gals from TikTok, and they have true crime channels, found his credit card. They were going through the garbage down there and found his one credit card. His wallet is still missing. His phone is missing. I imagine keys, if he has keys with him. They are still all missing, and wallet. But the credit card, why would the credit card be out of his wallet? It's another mystery found on the bank, but it's a very long, steep, it's a very steep. If you fell down that embankment, you would be injured, in addition to possibly the head injury as well. So all we can do, just keep our thoughts and our prayers with the family, and that they keep finding things. But I think this map is very interesting, that it's all going in one direction. So and I did the exact mileage as the chart would be. Let me see what it was. 0.17 mile. I could do 17 miles, but I didn't. 1.7, but that's a 0.17. So I don't know if they're checking. They've been in the water checking for a long time. So, okay. But we don't know if it's the SFK, Lee. We don't see typically the SFK will hold individuals for 6 weeks, then place them in the water. Yes, it is very interesting. I've never seen one, and as many that I have done, and all the years that I've done them, I've never really seen one, you guys, where all of the lines were that focused in one area. But we have to go back to the chart, and all of the planets were focused in one area, as you recall. They were all bunched up in that stellium. So it is very, very interesting. I just pray that, the mother is just beside herself. She's adorable. And I think she's captured all of our hearts when she comes on and states, that, please try to help find her child. The community has been wonderful in this. There are people out searching daily and doing lives daily to keep us informed. There are a lot of places that they could look in that chart on this map. I would go past the bridge and go down a little bit farther, but it seems like they're concentrating around that bridge area. Depending on how fast the water was going, I don't know, but I would concentrate past the bridge. But we just don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what comes out on this case. It is a very, very sad case, because the kids were out doing what kids like to do, having fun, and this happens. And unfortunately, I think, his buddies are taking a lot of heat. But, hey, I'm going back to the hotel. Okay. I mean, how many times that's happened? That happens to all of us, when we were younger. Linda said, is the current running really fast? How far could it carry someone? That I don't know. It is running fast. When on the live shots, it doesn't look like it's running fast, but you can see the current is running. Kind of like the Ohio River here. If you're just looking at it, it almost looks still. But when you get up to the Ohio River, that current is running very, very fast. And Linda says, this is sad. I imagine those friends are probably feeling awful. I'm sure they are, but I'm sure they are. But, I think too, you have to, the young kids, I'm going back to the hotel. Okay, great. I mean, that would be, all of us have done that when we were younger, Sure, the hotel was probably just around the corner or so. And I'm sure they feel horrible. The 911 call was actually made around 1:30 in the morning. So the kids went back to the hotel. He wasn't there. And they Ubered to the sheriff's office to file a missing person report. So the kids they released, there was a 111 call. It was released. The kids jumped on it as soon as they realized he wasn't there. So they did act, I think the main thing that people should concentrate on is trying to find him as opposed to placing blame on the bar or, the friends. It's because I'm sure they feel horrible. I'm sure, they don't need to feel any worse. And I just think it's the best thing to do would be to help. And I think what the kids are doing, number one, is going down there and giving us live footage. And actually, if those girls wouldn't have been out searching, they would never have found that credit card. So it's great to see the true crime community coming together as a community. And it's good to have some positive news and for the true crime community, because the true crime community takes a lot of hits. And I think it's wonderful that the girls were out there looking. I think it's just the young people that are out searching for this young man. The family just can't thank the people enough in this area. And they are wonderful. And, the true crime community makes a big difference. Look what happened we've got baby Elijah. The blanket was found 3 miles from where the baby was, reported missing. So, I don't know who found the blanket. I hope it's people that were out searching. They're out searching as well. So when the community gets involved, action happens. Things happen. And that's what's so important, is to get the word out there. And I think it's just wonderful. I do too, Linda. Linda says that it's amazing they found that. The little girl apparently was down in the garbage, and there is so much. I don't know if y'all live by riverbanks, but I know the Ohio River does too. They flood, they go down. A lot of garbage. It's horrible how much garbage is on a riverbank. But they were going through the garbage with sticks. And, there are encampments down there that young girls, it could be dangerous. I think sometimes that they get a bad rap too for people in the embankments. There was one witness that stated he heard a commotion, and it was him and his wife. They lived in the encampment down by the river. And he yelled up, and someone said, "No, he's just drunk." Now, how much of that is rumor? How much of that is true? That's up to LE to take care of. I don't know. But if that's the case, and that statement pans out, we may have some foul play on our hands. We don't know. But, I don't know why anybody would make that up unless it was another circumstance. But a lot of people that lived in the encampments down on the river saw him. So there are witnesses. I think it's just going to be a matter of time before they have to collect all this info. But in the meantime, that map sure has us pointed in the river area, doesn't it? So, but that's Riley's case. Next week, I'm going to look at, I don't know how, another Tennessee case. I don't know if you all are familiar with a 15-year-old autistic little boy, Sebastian, who has been missing going on, 3 weeks now, Sebastian. That's another huge case that's out there, receiving a lot of attention. We've had Audrey, we've had Maddie, we've got baby Elijah, we've got Sebastian, and now we have Riley. And now we've got the other boy that's missing in southeastern Indiana, the wildlife photographer. So there's been a lot of true crime. And just as a reminder, during eclipse season, which is what we are in now, with the next eclipse is going to be on next Monday night during the show, people are found. A lot of cold cases get solved from now until April the 18th. Watch the news cycle because you're going to see a lot of cases get solved. So, Tammy, I don't know why that happens, but for search and rescue between now and the end of April is when people get found. And I don't know why eclipse season does that, but I've watched it cycle and it watched this cycle of eclipse. It's a full moon on steroids. Full moons illuminate and bring things out. So, that could be, that's interesting. So if you've got some searches going on, and I even told Michael that, if you got any searches going on, do them now because you'll be successful between now and the middle of April. So that's it for tonight, everyone. We'll all say prayers for Riley that he's found. Let's hope maybe, somebody's gotten him and he's got a head injury and doesn't know his name, lost his wallet. But I put up here that astrologymeetstruecrime.com. The website is up. Please go in there and look at the information. I think it's a fun website. I'm going to work on the merch store. So I might put some really cool merch in the merch store. But you guys are going to have to give me some suggestions on the merch store. What I should do, like t-shirts or cups, or I just like merch stuff with names on it. I think a cute true crime t-shirt would be cute. I think it'd be fun. Get a yellow one. Oh, thank you. Well, Linda, you're so kind. Linda says it's a beautiful website. I used Site 123 and I am so non-techie. I'm horrible. I couldn't do GoDaddy. I was not any good at it. Site 123 was the easiest platform to ever put up a website I've ever done in my life. I absolutely loved it. And it was fun and it was easy and AI helps you with it. So I love the website. Well, hello, Miss Kathy. Thank you. Have a good night. Everybody join me in 5-10 minutes over on Keith, the Otter's Den, because we have a great show planned for Monday night at 8. So you guys have a great week. I think that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Got another true crime under the... Let's hope that things work out great for this young man, Riley. I've been praying for him. So everybody have a great week. Try to stay warm if you're in the cold front area like we all are. And if not, I will see you on Eclipse next Monday night. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you in a little bit. Have a great week. Thank you. Oops, hit the wrong button.